Hi, this is Andrea Horoski, and this is my final project, Twitter's Role in Education. I did this for the class Distance Education, which is the N534 course. So this was regarding Twitter. So what is Twitter? Twitter is an online social networking program that is often referred to as a microblog. It's a good portal for information that can have many applications for online education, per Norman 2016. The use of Twitter was admittedly very new for myself and many of my peers. The comments posted throughout this 8-week term to our class hashtag, which was hashtag DistanceEd534, did prove to me that not only was this a new skill for myself, but also for my fellow classmates. But is Twitter really for education? So we were given this assignment and we were to use the hashtag DistanceEd534 to post or what's called retweet articles that we found relating to our class throughout the 8 weeks. So anything regarding distance education or online learning, we were to repost, tweet, and comment on. Well, when I was told I had to create a Twitter account, my first response was a lot of anxiety, frustration. I was very hesitant. I did not want to create another social networking site. I already have Facebook. That's more than I want or need. Did not see the need or the reason. So very anxious because I was very unfamiliar with Twitter. Well, then I created the account and I started looking into it and thought, wow, this is still different. This could be good. So there are some benefits and limitations to education. So some of the benefits that I saw personally was the constant exposure to new ideas and learning resources. I feel the program is easy to use even for someone who's not heavily familiar with the social media like myself. I feel that the program is easy to use, for someone who's not used to social media like myself, but also for a beginner. Twitter makes being sociable with the class easier for a person like me that I'm not very comfortable with the face-to-face social interactions. So being active and sociable with my classmates, this made it a little bit easier. According to Norman 2016, some other benefits of Twitter is that it can be used for educational resources and professional development. It can also be a great way to enhance learning through collaboration among peers. And this was an example of a way that we had collaborated. This was an article that I had found. It is the best practice for a classroom. I found the article online. I then retweeted it on Twitter and used the hashtag DistanceEd534 to share it to the rest of my classmates. It was to help them with their assignment for this week if they found it useful. So as Norman 2060 points out, Twitter can be a great way to enhance learning through collaboration among peers. And like I said, I had seen this personally through myself and my fellow classmates. Twitter has already made its way into the Certified Nurse Educator exam books. As Whitman, Price, et al. Point out, Twitter is a good way for peers to continue class discussion, share each other's thoughts, and increase class interaction. So these are all some good benefits that I did also see myself while using Twitter. Pappas 2015 discusses a few cons when using Twitter for online learning. One that I can relate to is that Twitter can be very distracting due to the information overload. The notifications that would constantly pop up were at first distracting, but I found that I could easily just shut those off. So that wasn't so distracting for me. But I did find that when I went in to read articles that my classmates would post, I would find myself getting distracted looking at other articles that were not related to class. So I did find that distracting. Another caution, like any other information online, is to be aware of the source. I did start to identify reliable sources while using the site in the past 7 to 8 weeks, but one can easily find themselves following a not so reliable source. So that is a caution. There is also a limit of 140 characters for each tweet or retweet. At first, I found this very difficult, almost nearly impossible. My first tweet to get it under 140 characters was very time consuming. So I was very confused by that, and it was very difficult. It was a task I felt nearly impossible, but I did finally get the idea of a quick and to the point comments. So that was actually very helpful in helping to do that. So, diverse learning needs. Social media's impact on diverse learning needs. Learning needs can be based on learning preferences, physical, mental needs, social issues, or other personal needs that can affect learning, according to Billings and Halstead, 2016. Constructivism is the learning theories are based on the concept that one builds their own knowledge based on previous knowledge and experiences. As part of the constructivism is the social learning theory that identifies that learning is enhanced with socialization. So integrating Twitter into an online educational learning environment can assist the learning in developing knowledge through socialization, per Billings and Halstead, 2016. I myself personally am not a very social person, as I mentioned earlier, and I shy away from face-to-face social interactions. But I found that the socialization done through Twitter was much less intimidating. So if socialization increases the ability to learn new concepts, social media sites like Twitter would be my socialization aid. Learning needs can be addressed by the use of a variety of other models. One it was the VARK model that we had used: visual, auditory, reading, kinesthetic. VARK model separates learning styles into these different categories that people prefer to learn or find it easier to learn. The visual type of learner learns best by visual aids like charts, graphs, pictures, color coding, the way things are organized on a page. Twitter is very easy to accommodate this learning preference by the ability to post videos and images. Being a visual learner myself, I felt drawn to certain images when scrolling through the feeds. This was an example of one that caught my eye. It was very colorful, brief, to the point. I thought it had a lot of information in one small picture. I found myself then finally going and reading the rest of the article, but I found this very interesting. Another visual one that caught my eye was this one here. She's using the right e-learning method. It caught my eye with all the colors and the diagrams, and I looked at it for quite a while trying to figure out what it meant until I finally clicked on it and found myself reading the rest of the article. The auditory learner can also benefit from listening to the videos or podcasts that are shared on Twitter feeds. I find myself trying to multitask on long commutes by listening to videos or podcasts related to course topics. Some of these are posted on Twitter under This Is Said 534 feed. And this was one that I had posted. It was a nice video by the creator Khan, and it's called Let Us Use Video to Read Education. Nice video related to the information we were covering in class. I reposted it. I could then go back and listen to that myself if I wanted, or other classmates could listen to it if they didn't have the time to read, or if they prefer listening opposed to reading. The reading and writing the reading and writing preferences may get the most out of Twitter platform due to the fact that one does mostly reading and writing. Even though the posts are short with only 140 characters allowed, a person who wants to read more can easily click on the link to an article and read the full article. So here's an example of an article. They can easily just read the description or the summary that someone has retweeted, and they decide if they want to read the whole article, they just click on it, and then they can view the whole article. The kinesthetic learner that like to experience real life, hands-on situations might not do quite as well with the use of Twitter. The kinesthetic learner may be able to learn using the application quickest by just jumping in and start using the program. In addition to being visual, I find I also learn very well with my hands. So on the use of Twitter and related type of programs, I feel that I just jump in, start messing with it, and I can pick it up on it easy. So in addition to that, there's some great ideas posted on Twitter that reach out to the hands-on kinesthetic learner. So I just typed in hashtag learning in real life for real life experiences. And there's a whole bunch of information for those types of learners just for them to read through. So what's next? Continued use of Twitter. When I first read that our class needed to create a Twitter account, I was a little stressed by the idea. I was definitely unfamiliar with Twitter and honestly did not see why we needed to create a social media account for the distance ed class. I very soon realized the benefits, of using Twitter for many aspects of education. My future ideas to use Twitter is one, to follow education. To keep following educational tweets. These are some of the educational tweets that I already started following. It's just a small sample of them. You can see there's EduCause here, there's e-learning feeds, there's e-learning tags down here, and then of course some people that I'm following. But I will continue to follow these educational tweets to keep getting that information. I also teach infusion classes, so I have started following on Twitter some organizations that I follow other places. I find this is a nice place to keep them and follow them without a lot of social distractions. So here I have already started following the Infusion Center Pennsylvania, some other infusion um, uh, people and organizations. These are all for infusion that I'm currently following. I also could use Twitter to promote my IV educational classes. I could blog information, I could share infusion updates, and I can also announce the new classes. In addition, I plan to keep on learning. I plan on learning to how to use Twitter better as Twitter evolves, as online education evolves, and education in general. Learning how to best incorporate and work with them together. I did a 24-hour poll, and my question was, do you think you will continue to use Twitter after this course? So this was the results of my poll. I did post that question. I got 60% said no, and 40% said yes. So three people said that they would not continue, and one person said yes for personal use, and one person said yes for educational use. There are some limitations with it only being a 24-hour poll, so I didn't get a lot of respondents. I only had five. So a longer poll maybe would have gotten me more responses. And there's a list of my references that I use for this presentation. And thank you very much.